right, welcome everyone. We're so excited at Elevate to bring you people that are truly shifting the world, people who show us that it's possible to live with vision, passion, and a deep, steady sense of purpose. Today's guest is a gift. It's one of those rare people whose life is the message. My very dear friend, Anaka, is the epitome of what it means to feel well, think deep, and live wide.
Welcome. Annika doesn't just talk about sustainability, beauty, or leadership. She lives it. From the capitals of Europe to New York City to Bali, her journey weaves through the worlds of publishing, environmental policy, luxury design, and soulful living. She's the founder of Escape NOMADE, a company that builds exquisite, sustainable tainted spaces. But what she's really building is a new paradigm.
That's right. And I've had the rare privilege of spending time with you often, Annika, in your magnificent tented sanctuary, beautiful, magnificent, mystical rice fields of Bali. And every visitor, when we walk in, it's like entering into a dream. It's in a dream universe. It's entering Annika's dream. There's a refined, intentional beauty to everything you create, Anaka. It's such an honor to open the door of that world today to our listeners and invite them to step inside with us.
Thank you for loving it as much as I do.
Love it. So we can't wait to hear the stories from you. And so let's just dive in straight. Annika, take us back. So you were working in the heart of Europe's business world, and then later in New York City with projects at the United Nations, before leaving everything and moving to Bali. So if you look back, what are you most proud of, personally or professionally?
Okay. Well, as a matter of fact, I don't really, when I saw the question, I thought, right, am I really proud? I don't know. I actually don't really thrive on it, or I don't think about it. It's just all about showing up and doing the work and just following your path. And when it leads to success, well, that's maybe obvious, but it's also like a gift, to being chosen to be successful on the path that you have chosen. Mm-hmm. So the most important thing is to choose your path, with your heart and your gut. And always follow what you love to do. And then about pride, I always avoid talking about myself, unless people ask, of course. But like, for example, if I go home with friends and family, I usually don't talk about my work or anything. And it's even so funny that even recently my sister, she commented, she said, because she follows me now on social media, and in the old days, there wasn't such a thing. And she said, I didn't know you did all that, because she was listening to that interview. And I just nodded and I said, yeah. And that was it, So I think being humble is quite important. And, you just, and if you would start bragging, I mean, what is it that other people would think if they haven't had that chance that I have? So I'm just think it's very important. To say who you are. Let me put it that way.
But Annika, I'm going to brag for you then, because when you started and moved to Bali, 25 years ago, just with the idea of building and this vision of what you thought was the way to live, living without walls. How, like now, just now, you created a company. In how many countries are your tents in now today?
Oh, that's a good question. Last time I heard it was like 55 countries, but that might be more now. But it's definitely not declining. So that's something I had never expected it to be. So I'm actually, sometimes when I think about it, I'm a bit shocked. So it's just I was just lucky that the tented concept and living without walls became something that people were looking forward to, because when I started, nobody was thinking about it. I mean, when I started, people were even thinking like, what is she doing? I said, I'm just building a tent because I want to live in it for a while until my house is ready that I am actually building. So, and just by chance, that small tent building became successful because I had a famous actress ordering my tent because a close friend of hers was a close friend of mine. So this is how this concept came out. Well, I wasn't really planning to create it as a business, but it just, when she ordered 6 tents, I'm like, oh my God, I know how to make one, but I don't know how to make 6. So I had to jump in and just work hard and just get the people to understand the concept. And, with all the technical work that I was not really used to, but, I have a sense like, if you put your mind to something, you can do everything really. If you put all your time in it, wherever you focus on is what's happening, right? So it's very important to follow that kind of philosophical concept of, you become who you are and what you think. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you are literally living it, and then people are picking up and go, oh, I want a bit of it, right? But what was behind that for you? What does it mean for you to live without walls?
Well, live without walls, meaning live out with any limitations. Living without fear. Living without, basically living without fear. Just to do what you want, and then of course consider other people around you, so you can't go too crazy. But I think the important thing is to do what you want to do. Just follow, as I said before, like your heart and your gut, and just do that, and you will definitely get where you want to get to. And living without walls is also like living not so much as an individual, because my doors are always open so people can walk in. So it's more, almost a bit more communal than the than the standard Western way of living. So my door is always open, and people can just walk in. And I think that's very, very important. And the communication, I think community and communication, there's like the word com in it both, right? So communication and community is when you get together, you can really talk with each other, which is something that we have, right now we're just doing it, but it's like online.
This brings us to, if you'd have to say, what was one of the biggest challenges that you've experienced living this dream life?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't really feel like I had so many challenges, but to other people it might seem challenges because I don't see anything as a problem. So if there is something that other people call a problem, I call it like an invitation, or not a challenge, but something more positive than that, right? So I always like to solve it because it's part of your creativity, and solving problems is a wonderful thing. So maybe even at one point, because at that time, when I was really on it for already a couple of years on designing my tents, and I needed like a little bit more, finance. So one day I just was having lunch with a friend, and I said, can you borrow me $20,000, because I really needed to bridge the gap between stopping or continuing, right? But as I am a person who never gives up, I thought, okay, I'll just do it. And then he said, why did you never ask me before? I said, I never thought about it, right? So anyway, it's a challenge also, like, for example, like to find like a business partner, because I'm very good at design and marketing and so on. And selling is also part of that, but then making a deal with somebody who wants to buy your product, I'm a bit shy talking about it. So I found some really fantastic person who has been now with me for almost 12 years, and we've been very lucky because he's the one who helped me make it very successful. I had a good product. He had a good way to make the deals with the customers, and I was just lucky to.
Beautiful. So it's about communication, it's collaboration.
Obviously, you're an amazing, inspiring entrepreneur who's been able to build this from in the far reaches of Bali, Anaka. So what is your view on how entrepreneurs can lead in a way that is both successful and soul aligned, which is what you've proven to be? How do you see it?
I love that question because I mean it's all like having a philosophy yourself, of course. So meaning you have a meaning in life, and you follow that. You don't just follow the mainstream. You follow yourself. You follow what your capabilities and what your knowledge is. So I think having a good philosophy in life, the one that you want to follow, you have to stick to it all the time, and don't change your idea. Don't think, oh, maybe I'm going this way. No, that's a very wrong decision because staying on your path and staying to your truth is really what helps you to become successful and to always and also the other thing is actually like, for example, being rich or being poor, having money or not having money, it doesn't make you happier or unhappy. It's like a continuation, because if you have a philosophy, you are so rich and so self-fulfilled with the beauty of life that nothing can really stop you. So I think it's a very important message.
Beautiful. And then, Annika, I also want to touch on the subject of nature, because obviously you're living without walls is to be close to nature and to be close to the cycles of nature. And of course, in Bali, you feel that with all of that Balinese mysticism in the ceremonies that take place on daily and then monthly and weekly. Do you want to just tell us how that empowers you and the vision you have?
Like for example, in the West, we build walls to protect our individual freedom, right? And free to be yourself. And you always have to make an appointment to see someone, for example. Here, like in Indonesia, again, the open doors are always there because it's like very communal and people supporting each other. And it's also like that because in Indonesia, for example, there is no the social system is not as strong, for example, as in my country, because when you're getting old, the country supports you. You always have money to buy food, right? And also always there will be something for health and wellness. So here, that's a bit more limited. So the people in the community will and have to take care of you, yeah? So they have like a small compound where they live and where they support each other. They cook like the food once a day in the morning. They go to the market at 4 o'clock, and then they cook for the whole day. So people just take some food whenever they feel like it, and they eat it on their own. They don't sit together like we do, right? And then in between all of that, they are making the offerings, and they every day I have a girl going around my land here, and there's about 14 small temples where she's putting the flowers, and really every single day. And anyhow, so I really appreciate that very much, and I've even started to do myself. I have some small temples in each of my main rooms, and every day I go there also with my incense and the flower, and I basically pray for my one temple is for my family, and the other temple is for my staff and for the people who work for me, and for my own environment here inside the tent where I live. And then outside I have one more temple where I have the Buddha, basically, who actually protects nature around me and also protects me from people coming in. So it has the message that only good people can come in, and it's a very very fulfilling life.
Beautiful.
Learning, having these ways of living is more informed, it's more spiritual, and it's more powerful. And it's not just like, oh, today I have to do this, that, because there's always time available, especially early mornings. Like I like to get up very early, meditate, and just do things that are not related to our regular material life. So it's and if you do that consistently, your life definitely will flourish.
You're such an inspiration. You are such an inspiration. Liana, do you want to ask the next question?
Well, yes. I've just had the joy of seeing it live, your book, The Haute Couture of Architecture. And you speak about the need to move from me to we. And I think you've already answered a bit that question in your story while you were sharing. But what would a future shaped by this kind of thinking look like for you?
Number one tip is actually to move from being an individualist to become more like thinking about become part of a community. I cannot say it like that, but be more communal and just think about what other people need, what other people want, and just start your day like that. And not only, what is my to-do list and what do I need to do, because there's always people around you who need your attention first. And I think if that can be done, I think it would be an incredible change in your life. Yeah. And it's like basically the concept is like, when you have a tree, a tree is underneath connected to the earth, above it's connected to the universe, right? Underneath it's connected to the earth. And it's not only connected to the earth, but it's also connected to all the other plants. It's connected to the whole system. The whole world is underneath the earth is all connected, right? And so are we. So we're connected like that. When we're putting our feet on the earth, we're connected to the earth as well. And that's also part of our community. So we should not forget that. And we also have our community above us. And that is something that we should also not forget. So it's like basically shifting from like a 3-dimensional mode into a 5-dimensional mode, meaning that there is much more to life than only you as an individual. And that's something you should take in consideration.
It's so beautiful, so special, Anaka. Thank you.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible time with you, and your wisdom, your knowledge, your lived experience is just so inspiring to all of us. So now in order to close this off, let's just do a quick lightning round. You can just answer in one word or one sentence. We just have a couple of questions. What is a book or a quote that changed your life?
Oh, okay. Oh dear. I think for me to read, that is something that maybe I came up with, but that is the one that shocked me deeply when I came up with that idea. And I think there is a lot in quotes around the world that kind of like signify something very similar.
Okay, and one object in your home that tells a story, your story.
My story. Okay, well, it's actually inside my temple, because inside one of my temples, I pray for my team, for everything else around us here in Bali, Indonesia, the rest of the world, and that is really what signifies my concept. Also, living without walls is also basically, in your thoughts, in your mind, you think beyond the walls that you live in usually, right? So beyond it, your mind, your spirit, your soul can go way, way beyond that. And that's also, when you're connected in the spiritual world, you are, you're even freer than free.
Beautiful.
Amazing. And then I suppose that ties into my next question probably, but what does living wide mean to you?
Probably we live because I guess we also have to learn a lesson here in this life, yeah? And I don't know where we will be going afterwards, but some people think there will be nothing, that is dead, but I don't think so. And I think that this lifetime, there's a lesson we have to learn, and things that are difficult in life have probably it's like karmic. It comes from a previous life where we have done something that we need to make up for this lifetime, yeah? And it can either be knowledge, it can be actually a lot of people who have past lifetime experiences. You often hear the story that they can that something terrible has happened to them, and like maybe they were killed or had a difficult experience in life. And those people have now maybe those are the ones who have a beautiful life this lifetime. I cannot say like that, but this is kind of my interpretation of the way I think about it. And we always say life is too short, but I think it's long enough to learn our lessons and be even more peaceful in our next lifetime.
You're amazing. Thank you, Anaka. We've come to the end of this, and you're such a radiant light in this world, and you've certainly been shining brightly in mine for over 20 years now.
I hope that my book also can be some kind of like a conductor, that people, when they read it, that they can be inspired and then inspire other people again and again. So slowly people will awaken and understand the paradigm shift that we're going through right now is one of the most important ones in our lifetime.
Yeah. And thank you for showing us, because you show the way of how we can live with that elegance and that beauty, even in the midst of like the luxury that your tents and your universe show us. So, but while staying rooted in the care for the planet and for ourselves and for others. You remind us that success is deeply soulful, right? You are the epitome of
it all comes down to simplicity in the end. So luxury is the new simplicity, right? Simplicity is the new luxury. Sorry, it's the other way around. So I think we can live with that right now. So we will stop. How would I say? About the environment. We all know that. So let me not start that because it's coming to an end here.
Maybe that could be a topic for next time. We have to explore that another time, because that's also got a whole different level. But truly, Anaka, what an inspiration you are. You don't just talk about living differently, you actually embody it, and it truly means to elevate, right? With grace, with depth, with vision, with wisdom, like you are. So thank you. And to the listeners that are joining us, if this conversation has stirred something within you, which we hope it has, and you can explore Anneka's work at the escapenomad.com, or dive into that exquisite book of hers, Haute, Couture, Architecture, The Art of Living Without Walls. We'll leave the links below. And
thank you.
And thank you, ladies. I totally enjoyed you, and I'm looking forward to the next round. Thank you. Take care. Sorry, it's starting to rain very hard right now, so I hope you can still hear me.
We can hear you good, unless you...
No problem.
I cannot hear you, that's the problem.
Okay. Do you want to move?
One of these tropical rains that all of a sudden just pop up.
Like without walls, Anaka, I love it.
And then all of a sudden it's, you cannot hear each other anymore.